Hello and welcome to the results video of the very first map making competition. The first round was to design a map with the theme Winter Wonderland. Anyone who submitted a map could interpret that in their own way, and all of these submissions were then voted for by the community on Discord, and now we have the top 15 will be shown in this video. There were 34 submissions in total, so thank you to everybody who took part. A lot of the maps were fantastic, and even if they don't feature in this video, many of the maps that were submitted were still great. And if you want to check them out, I would definitely recommend joining my Discord server, where you can see the archive of all the maps that were submitted and download them for yourself and have a look at them in the scenario editor. Some of the maps are quite large and there's a lot of maps to go through, so I won't be able to look at all the details on all the maps in this video, but I will do my best to showcase the maps and what they're all about. There's been some fantastic submissions and I've been so excited to share this with you. I'll be posting a video in January for round 2, but without further ado, let's go through the top 15. So in 15th place is Alkalyn with his submission of Cusco. I believe that's an Incan settlement or something along those lines. It's quite a nice map. It's very large, obviously filling the whole space. And this sort of town in the north is quite pretty up here. The main area of this map that I like the most is the mine down in the south. I think this is really nicely done. You can see he's done a lot of mixing of terrains here. He's used the black terrain to make this look really cool. And he's sort of blended the gold and stone together to make this really nice effect as well. So I really like this. I think this mine looks great. I think he could improve his scenario, and this goes for a lot of the submissions, by using triggers to actually make things move and to task the villagers to mine the rocks, for example. So there's a bit more movement and a bit more action in the scene. Other than that, though, the map has some quite barren areas. If you're going to make the full-size map, then try and fill it. I know Alkalyn was maybe a little bit pushed for time because he submitted it 2 minutes before the deadline. But there's nothing wrong with blacking out sections of your map and making a smaller map or smaller area for yourself to work with, if it means that you can go and put more details into those areas. This sort of has little pockets of things going on. This is kind of funny. No idea what this is. A bunch of llamas trying to keep warm by the fire, I guess, up in the Andes. But you can see this sort of like a lot of sort of emptiness in between these areas here with not a lot going on. But all in all, what is here is really nice. And I think if he'd have perhaps made his map a little bit smaller and sort of focused on the details that he has done and sort of bring them all together a little bit more, then I think he could have scored higher. But I look forward to seeing what Alkalyn does in the future. And I think he was maybe a little bit short on time for this submission. Okay, so in 14th place, we have Olivia. I hope I'm saying his name right. And he's gone for this sort of mountain region, which is really nicely done. You can see all these cliffs here, which gives this real sense of elevation as you go throughout the map. It's really like uphill river here, or downhill, I guess, if you go the other way. But I think it's really nice. The river is definitely the highlight for me, going through the center of the map. Over here, you see this red TC. This is just spawned. I would just... Oh, and he's attacking my town center now. Just a tip for anyone who's making scenarios in the future. If you set the number of players to 1, you can actually prevent the AI from spawning and ruining your beautiful town. But other than that, he's got a little bit of a settlement on either side of the river. On the left side, you just have this little village here, which is quite pretty. Looks very sort of wintry and barren, which is definitely the theme of this this competition. Or this round, I should say. It's quite nice. But yeah, there's a couple of sort of strange things. This lake, for example, has no fish, which is probably why the fishing ships are actually up on the dock. But yeah, on the right side, there's a lot going on here. But again, there's just a little bit of a lack of movement. You know, he could have tasked these villagers to mine the stone, for example, with the trigger, just to give it a little bit more interesting movement to the scene. But all in all, it's quite nice. I definitely like the river. I'm really a big fan of this. I think this is really cool. All the crossing points, it winds up really nicely. And you can see these units in position as they head up toward the village here. Nice submission, 14th place. Okay, so in 13th place, we have Fiona Danger with this submission here. I really like this one. I think this is really nice. It's one of the few submissions that really has this sort of like big story to it, which doesn't really have to be explained. It's very clear when you look at what's going on. So you have this green settlement in the center, which is very pretty, actually. I like the way this is designed. You've got this little dock little area here, and I really like this dock, the use of the piers or jetties to link it all together. But these guys are preparing for an invasion. You can see they're clearly gathered around the fort here, the Krepost in this case, and they're discussing what they're going to do, coming up with some strategy, no doubt, as they barricaded themselves in. They've got the onager here being manned, and there's a lot of attention to detail in this area, which I really appreciate. And then on the south and in the north, you've got this invading army of Vikings, which is really nice. They've sort of sailed in here to this marshland, and they're all gathered around this really big bonfire. They're all cramped around, trying to keep warm, discussing what they're going to do. And they're going to go for a pincer attack with this army in the north. And, you know, this is really visually cool. It's really clear to see what's going on. I really like it. But unfortunately for this map, I think the part that perhaps draws back a little bit is that it takes up a very small amount of space out of the available space. This left area, for example, it's all just empty water, and the area to the right, it's filled, but it's just empty fields, of course, which makes sense given that it is a barren wasteland in wintertime, and they're all, of course, cooped up inside of their town, I suppose you could call it. On the right side, you have this little yellow settlement here as well. Looks like they're talking to the scout and going to be discussing what their plans are. Maybe they'll run away off the map somewhere up here in the north. But yeah, that's the map from Fiona Danger. I really like this. I think it tells a really nice story, and it's very clear what that story is. One tip, though, again, for anyone submitting maps in the future, make sure you set immobile units AI, and also you set the red and green and yellow to be allied with each other, even though they're enemies in the figment of our imagination. It's best if they're not attacking each other when the scenario is launched. But nice submission, and we'll go take a look at number 12. All right, so Basilius has finished number 12, and his map is Tangashima 1545 AD. I think he wrote somewhere in the Discord that it's based off of real geography. You're supposed to explore the map with this spearman here, but I'm going to use Marco Polo because saves me a little bit of time. And oops, I can't spell polo apparently. Polo. All right, so yeah, this is Japan, or at least an area of Japan, I think. I'm not sure, but it's got a very nice dock down in the south. And you can see what I mean here previously about using movement. He's got the blacksmith, and it's renamed it to blacksmith, and you know he's tapping away here. You've got the dock worker moving back and forth, and you've got this merchant in front of his house or shop selling some wares. There's a lot more liveliness to this, and even though the map is quite small, there's something to look for in all these different areas. You've got this Yumi Ashigaru, which as far as I know, it's an Age of Empires 3 unit as well, which is quite cool. You've got these ninjas fighting in front of a temple here as you come up across these sort of paddy fields, I suppose you could call them, or at least flooded fields. You've got this Tengashima Tadatoki, I imagine historical figures from the time. And yeah, it's overall, it's a really pretty island, and I think that what probably held back Basilius' score is probably just the lack of content on this. He had the whole map to work with, and what he has made is fantastic, but I think people would probably look for a little bit more in the future. But this is really nice. I like this a lot, and it sort of reminds me a little bit of like a world map or something, or like a grand campaign map where these little sort of things represent icons of what's happening on the map, and you could like zoom into them and enter a battlefield or something. I don't know, it's quite cool. Sort of makes me think a little bit of medieval Total War or something like that, if you see where I'm coming from there. But yeah, nice map. Okay, so in 11th place we have Flappy. Welcome, good sir. We generate gold while we fight. The gold can be used to purchase more of us at the big tent. In that tent, you can buy a special packed town centre, and it will allow you to build a town centre without needing villagers. So Flappy's designed this map to be playable, and that was not a requirement. And in fact, I won't be playing through this because we don't have too much time, since there are a lot of submissions to go through. But his concept is that you use these Keshik to raid. I'll just demonstrate real quick. And while they fight, they earn gold. So we can do that now. Quickly kill these men-at-arms, and yeah, we get some gold. And then we can actually train using the triggers that he's put into the game. We can actually use that gold to train more Keshiks at the tent. It says there's not enough food, but either way, this would be playable if I were to do that. But what we'll do is we'll look at the map design, because that's really the focus of this competition. And it's a big map. It's definitely a very large map. There's a lot going on here, and it really fills that Winter Wonderland theme quite nicely. It's very, very cold, very icy, and there's lots of stuff going on. If you look at the details, these trade carts really struggling to know where to go. Yeah, I think that's just the AI on the red player bugging out a little bit. But I'm personally a big fan of water. I love these scenes like this, you know, with these little rivers flowing through, with the waterfalls. I always think that's very, very pretty. And you know, there's like these little monuments in the trees, and all these lovely, lovely farmlands and things, which have obviously been iced over and are currently barren. But yeah, this is a really pretty map, and that's exactly what we're going for. Lots of details all over, and like I said, we don't really have too much time in this video to look at all the details on all the maps in every place. But if you want to check them out for yourself, definitely head over to the Discord. It's linked below the video here. It's completely free to join, and you can download these maps and have a look for yourself as well, and even play them if you like to play them. So there's a lot going on, and I imagine raiding with your Keshiks would be quite fun as well. So he's made that into a nice little mini game. But that was Flappy's entry. Very nice overall. Very large map as well. So I think he scored quite highly. Did score highly because of the quantity of stuff to explore here, which I think people really enjoy. Here in 10th place we have Andy. And he has built Starfell, an island upon the star, the capital of the Sifyar, and so on and so forth. This is really cool. I love the creativity here. This is a very detailed map, but he takes you through it. He explains the lore. It's a very fantasy setting. You've got the Western Harbour here with the trade goods, and there's a lot of story around this as well, which I think is really enjoyable, because it adds a bit more flavor to your scenario. It definitely makes it seem a little bit more interesting, and you know, it sort of holds your hand a little bit and takes you through and explains what's going on. The Eastern Fishing Port, main food source for the island, and so on and so forth. Not only that, but it's also a really nicely designed map. There's a lot going on, and you know, there's a few things that could be improved, like using triggers to set these villages to work, for example. I've said that a few times now, but I think it's a really important thing to do. And then obviously you've got this sort of cave area at the top with these nice building combinations. You see the town center with the tent inside of it, and a lot of off-grid placement of units to make really pretty landscapes. So this one is really very well done, and I think that you know, it could have easily scored higher as well, but as it stands, 10th place, that's reasonable. And I'm really quite a big fan of this in the center. It's huge. It's like the big citadel that's never fallen, and you've got this stronghold building here, which is, you can see it's clearly mixed with lots of different stuff. Back here you've got a monastery and a fire tower. Back at the back you've got a Fatoria, and it just makes this really big, imposing structure that just looks awesome. So yeah, and then off to the left you've got these sea cloaks, whatever sea cloaks are, leading up toward the temple to the ancestors, and you've got this sort of ritual going on at the back, which is kind of cool, using the H1 monks, the sacrifices. Definitely a lot of story here, definitely more of a fantasy setting, and he's one of the first that we've seen so far to sort of stretch the imagination a little bit more and come up with something that's not just a standard medieval town, but has a bit more of a backstory, a bit more fantasy element to it. Nicely done, and that's 10th place for Andy. Okay, so in 9th place here we have The Hole with his submission, which is based off of The Hobbit. This is the town of Dale, or city I should say, of Dale, and it's perched among the mountains here, or the rocks here, and it's a really nicely designed town. A lot of like sort of closely packed buildings, lots of different architecture styles to give some variation in the roofs, and you can see it's clearly very well fortified as well. Excuse the villagers, by the way, trying to chop that wood. You need to set immobile units AI if you want to stop that from happening, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, this is a really nicely designed town, and it's not just the town. You have, of course, got the areas surrounding it as well. There's not a lot going on outside, apart from the villages, of course, but you've got this sort of really frozen river that's coming through the center here, under which over which the bridge goes into the main entrance of the city. And then you've got this north entrance as well, and the river goes through. And then, of course, as you come down through these mountain areas, heavily wooded, really large mountain ranges here, which really fits the theme nicely. You've got over to the right the dwarves of Erebor, and they are inside hoarding gold. I really like this. I think this is really cool. Again, sort of goes with that fantasy theme a little bit. This sort of dwarven underground town, and you've got all these pillars sort of holding the roof up, but you could imagine that, and I think that's pretty cool. It's a little bit wacky in a way, but you know, you can see where the inspirations come from, and I think a lot of people appreciate that. You know, it's kind of weird, but I think one of my favorite parts of this entire map is this river here. I love this. I think this just looks awesome. You know, this looks so cool. I love the black here with like where you can imagine the water like running down underneath this into this cave or whatever this is under the mountains. I think this looks fantastic. And there's quite a few little details like that around the place that I really enjoy. So yeah, this is a really good submission from The Hole. Well done to him. Top 10 finish. In 8th place, we have Miranda Gemini with Frostreach, and I think you're supposed to explore this with your Hussar here, and while exploring the map like this is really fun, and it's very nice, we are going to Marco Polo it, because again, it's a large map, and we don't have too much time to do this, as we have to get through them all. This is really a very well-designed map. You can see a lot of detailing. It's not too sporadic, it's not too random. Everything sort of looks very natural, and it looks good. And you can see this clear sort of path through the wooded area in the south up towards Frostreach, which is a town, I suppose, sort of sitting here among the rocks. It's very sparse, as you might imagine, a town in the very cold northern climes might be, with quite a lot of fishing, a lot of docks, and I think that's really something that a lot of these maps have done really well, actually. A lot of the maps have these docks and have a lot of really nice water elements to them. I definitely think that brings things together nicely. But all in all, this map has a lot of very small details. Things like this this cave guarded by this iron boar, for example, or, you know, out on the right side, little camps of axemen and woad raiders, sort of perhaps going to go out to hunt in this frozen wasteland. It's just really nicely done. You know, this is really, really nicely done. And there's always little things hidden away in the nooks and crannies of these mountains. Then up at the north, you've got this couple of islands up here, which obviously you can reach by boat. And up on here, you've got a monastery with a monk being visited by the samurai. And down on the left side, another one with a tower up on the top, so maybe somehow kind of a lighthouse or something like that. Very nicely done. I think this one scored highly just because of how well the terrain is done. The terrain is very, very well done on this one, and I probably sound like a stuck record repeating myself about how well done it is, but I can't really stress that enough. I really like this one a lot, and well done to Miranda Gemini for finishing in 7th place. Here in 7th, we have Shastasaurus with the town of Solutam. You and the rest of your squadron are returning from battle. Feel free to check things out and select any Aqua units to talk to them. You can look for shrines as a side objective, and there might be someone willing to do something once you find all 8 shrines. So this one has got a little bit of playability to it. And again, I will Marco Polo this because I think it's the right thing to do, given the time limitations. But it's a really nice map. Definitely check this one out. You can explore it with this unit here and obviously complete the objectives as well. And it's not a requirement for these to be playable. But when there's a little bit of playability to it, it definitely helps, I imagine. Anyway, there's teal units which we can talk to, and they can tell us a lot of information, and we can learn the story of the region. Talk to the chieftain or the castle keeper, and these kind of details really just elevate the scenario to another level in a way. Being able to have that dialogue, learn the story of the scenario as you, or the map, as you actually explore it. And there's a lot of really interesting things going on as well. You know, these horse units here, cavalry units here, taking these horses to wherever they're going. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out if we explore, and those answers will be revealed. Overall, this is a very well designed map. There's a lot of really nice things, like this bridge, for example. If I undo Marco Polo just real quick, and you go across this bridge, it just looks really nice. You've got this darkness underneath, you've got the pillars holding it up. It's very well designed, and there's a lot of really small details like that which just elevate this up into quite high scoring position. The town here, lots going on. Christmas tree, I like to think, people gathered around with relics and presents underneath, really fulfilling that sort of winter wonderland theme, which was of course the objective for this. You've got patrols going on around here as well, which again just adds more life to the scene. It makes it feel more real and have some kind of some history to it. Anyway, we're supposed to discover all 8 shrines, so I suppose I will at least do that while we do look around the map. There's another one. We've got 6 out of 8 now. I'm actually not sure where the shrines are. I'm maybe missing them. But let's talk to this general. You're late, soldier. I suggest you ready up and get back over here. You look awful. So, yeah, there's a lot of story going on. And a lot of different elements to this, with all the different regions on the map. Again, just very well designed. I like this river. I like anything with the water. That to me has a lot of appeal. But of course, I wasn't the one who ranked these. That was the community who ranked these. And oh, there we go. We discovered all the shrines and we unlocked full visibility. Well, you know what? I got that already. One step ahead of you there. Just try to show off the whole map. But of course, if you want to check this out for yourself, do download it from the archive on Discord. Zoom into the details. Explore the story of this map and see it all for yourself. What's the camel doing out here? Again, lots of little things. Like, you wouldn't be able to see this with your Hussar Explorer, but when you get the full visibility, you get to see all the little Easter eggs as well. So many lovely little things, so many little details. Very, very nice scenario. Okay, so this is Russian Bear's submission, and he finished in 6th place. He's filled the whole map, and you're supposed to explore it with your guide down here, your traveler. But you can go around and you can talk to all the NPCs. Portuguese captain talking about missing the summers in Lisbon, and Japan being pretty. The soldiers aren't bad, but obviously a very large way away from his homeland. And yeah, this map is one of those maps which, when you look at the mini-map, you could imagine this being played as part of like a custom campaign, or, you know, an actual official campaign. it's definitely got all the hallmarks of that. These little settlements scattered around the place, and you can imagine this really being developed into a playable scenario, which is really cool. Trebuchet here, attacking the gate, trying to get through, and you can see up in the north you have this settlement which are barricaded in, trying to defend. And let's see, the Iki commander, I think I said that right. Maybe, I don't know. Defending their temple up here in the north. Very pretty scenario, lots and lots of details all over the place, and definitely you can see the sort of story here. You can imagine this being played out, where you've got to sort of, you know, rally the support of these different factions in red, so that you can actually go ahead and launch your attack onto the fortress or the temple in the north at the end of the scenario. So yeah, I really like this one, and I think it deserves such a high ranking. I wonder if you will later on develop this into something that's more playable. Obviously, if you want to find out more about the story, download it, check it out, and click around and see what's to be said. The blacksmith, for example, would stop to talk, but there's so much work to be done. Indeed there is. And with that, we must go on to our next scenario. Okay. So here we are with the top 5, and in 5th place is Thanathor. This was one of my favourite maps, actually. I think my second favourite of all, of the ones I saw at least. And I just want to start by sort of following this river through the map. It's very pretty. I love how much detail there is all around this. You've got the villagers working, chopping down the trees. You've got the bridges here where the units are sort of looking to go across and, you know, get their goods and wares from one area to another. And the lovely waterfall. You've definitely got the sense of elevation and of height. And then as you come down here, you've got this raging battle going on. And I think this is one of the first, or at least maybe even the only example of actual combat taking place as they fight for this river down on the south area. I love this. I think this is so cool. Loving the attention to detail here. And as you come across, you see the green faction down in the south. They've got their big keep here, the Cliffer Keep, and you know, they've sort of got their raiding town, or they've at least raided this town already even. Then over on the right side, you've got a little bit of action on the water as well, and you've got this really lovely dock out here with the red player loading up in their transport ships to send their units or goods afar. Very pretty map, and one which really captures the theme nicely. There's some things here that Thanathor has done which no one else has done at all, and you know, for me, the battle really makes this. I'm a big fan of what he's done down in the south. And all over the map, there's lots of little nooks and crannies, little details, and you can really sort of imagine the story that played out in his mind, at least, when he was building this. Set these villagers to gather the gold and stone, and yeah, really, really well done. I could look at this for a long time, but alas, we must move on and take a look at map number 4. So here we go. In 4th place, it is Trader Joe and his creation. This one is a really good example of sort of how leaving space and sort of not overcrowding and overcluttering your map can be really good. I don't know what's actually going on here. I just saw this monk being led by a couple of Teutonic knights, and now all the villagers are off to see the wizard. I don't know wherever they're going, but yeah, there's loads of really nice little things going on around this map, and again, it's one of those maps where it's very large, so I would recommend checking this out for yourself and seeing what's up. But I want to follow these villagers. I'm wondering where they're actually going right now. They're on a trek. Why is it all women as well? Where are the men? Where are they going? Are they going off the map to see? Maybe they are. Maybe they're actually. Maybe they're going to disappear over here, or not. No. Looks like they're going up to the church on the hill. Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening there, but it's pretty cool. And yeah, this map is pretty huge, like I said. There's a lot going on all over the place. You've got these longbowmen here practicing against their targets. That's really nice. And loads of little details of all sorts of things. You've got the villagers mining the rocks down in the south. You've got little pens of animals sort of roaming around, and it's just very nicely spaced. You know, it's not too cluttered, but there's enough going on to catch your eye and lead your interest around the map. Wondering if there's where those women have gone to. They're actually, oh no, there is a guy. But where did the rest go? Did they all just go into the church or something? I think they're going into the church. Yeah. Yeah, they are. And again, another little detail there. You know, you're like, okay, where are they going? Oh, I wonder where they're going. Let's follow them and find out. Oh, they're going into the church. You know, so you've got all these little stories that are being told throughout the map. And yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. I like this one a lot. And it's a little bit different to the others we've seen so far as well. Sort of more of like a nomadic feeling to it, with the yurts and the huts around, and these King's Guard apparently, which are roaming around the place. Very nice map here from Trader Joe, just finishing outside of the top 3, but well done to him, and I look forward to seeing what he can come up with in the future. Okay, so here we go with the top 3. This is ElMonsters Submission. Again, it is a pretty big map, but it is divided into 4, I suppose, very clear segments. Out here on the left-hand side, you have this Chinese wonder, and you have these really sort of mountain village sort of type thing, very Asian style architecture. Very, very pretty area out to the left, with villagers paying homage at the shrine, with so much going on all over the place. These Kamayuk kind of standing guard around this monument here. You've got this river that sort of winds its way through the center of the map, with the green dock leading onto it. And then if you follow that around, at least on the top side, you've got these fortifications up on the mountain here. And then you've got the Blue Players Monument, the Britain Wonder there. And sort of interesting use of these sculptures, statues to lead up toward this this other wonder. There's a lot of wonders and things being used in this one. Out to the right hand side, you've got another one from the Tartars, and yeah, like look at this, like broken bridge here, really good attention to detail. And as you follow that river around, you come down into the Yellow Province, which is and excuse this messaging on the left side, I'm not sure what that's about. Let's just turn that off. And then you've got this Yellow Province here, which is sort of very chaotic, as you might imagine from a dockland, sort of nestled between the mountains on the left and the mountains on the right. Sort of very sort of economic faction. And I love the way he's done the farms here as well. You know, this is really, again, so much detail in this. A lot of people have sort of just put their farms down and left them barren, but he's added so many more little details to it as well, using these paths to sort of break it up. Looks like sort of where your cart might have been dragged through, and all in all, yeah, there's just a ton of really nice little things all over the place. Down in the south, a big woodland, and the are these iron boar? I don't know, whatever they are, they've laid claim to these ruins here. So much little detail, I love it. Going up to the top side then, past the farms. Sorry, I should say the right side. This is just sick. I mean, look at that. Wow. I mean, that has got to win the best waterfall of the competition award. And you've got this. Look at it. Just look at that. What more can I say? Honestly, it's so freaking cool. I'm almost speechless. It's so pretty. It's so well done. I think I saved the best for last here with the teal settlement on the right hand side, just looking. It's phenomenal. Really nicely done. really, really nicely done. And yeah, we'll follow that around out to the top side. Some very creative things going on here from ElMonster, and a very well deserved 3rd place. Again, do download these, check them out for yourselves, and explore them for yourselves as well, because I just can't do it justice. I can't show it all off in this single video. So here in second place is Ciroc's submission, as voted by the community. This will be the runner-up for our very first map design competition. You're supposed to explore with the ambassador, but I mean, you can do this if you download it for yourself. But like I said, there's not too much time, and it would take a long while to do all of this. So let's follow it through anyway. You've got this sort of very large entranceway into what is a huge fort. I mean, look at that for an entrance. It is pretty grand, and a very good use of mixed building styles here to add a lot of variation and interest into the surroundings. As you go through into this main entrance, you pass through the gates, through these fortresses, into, I guess, sort of like the heart of the town. And you've got a lot going on here, a lot of movement, many carts moving goods around, trading, going along these frozen rivers, I assume. Well, perhaps frozen rivers? I'm not sure. Using them as walkways, at least. And there's lots of different segmented areas off here. Down in the south, you've got like lots going on, some kind of preaching happening over here. I've just realized these signs have had their the writing updated. I remember a long while ago, back in AOC, I made a video about Easter eggs, and they actually wrote the names of the developers on the sign. But this looks like it's been updated to Greek, I believe. Limavi? I have no idea. Sorry. If anyone knows what that says or what that means, let me know in a comment. I have no idea. But yeah, there's lots going on around the map here. It's pretty crazy. What is that? Fortified tower. Yeah, I mean, using all these different architectures, you get to see a lot of these unusual buildings, and they've added so many things with Definitive Edition. The fortified towers are one of them, but they've added different styles for different architecture sets. So there's a huge amount of things to play with and a lot of variation to try out. Yeah, a very sort of large area to the right here, big sort of wood cutting area. And then up here, this is really creative. He's got this sort of aqueduct which is coming through the mountains. It's sort of like flowing down into the watermill, which is really cool. And then obviously these sort of wastelands, which were, of course, fields in the summer, but have now been frozen over in the winter climate. So many details all over the place. And, you know, obviously if you explore around with your explorer, you'll get a little bit of story to this as well. And yeah, there's more here. What is that? You know what? I'll let you guys tell me. I don't know how to read Greek. But, oh, look, it's a doubt castle. Yeah, like lots of little things, you know. When you click around, you discover a lot more. There's Alkalyn, actually. Look. And actually, that's hilarious. I don't know if you guys... Well, Alkalyn submitted his scenario, but it wasn't featured, I think, in the video. Unless it was, and I've totally forgot. Look, there's Viper and Spirit of the Law. He's a samurai. Viper is a rat and archer for some reason. I'm new. T90 Wu. Oh, I thought it might be Ornlu for a second there. Tato demo ship. You've got MBL Boar. But yeah, that's so funny because Alkalyn kind of looks a bit like that, actually. Anyway, a lot of Easter eggs on this map, which are definitely worth checking out. Presents around the tree. Winter Wonderland, of course. It's a good fit to the theme, and yeah, all over the place. Lots of stuff happening here. Training ground, and this. I don't. What is this actually? I don't know. It's making me ask the question. What is this? I'm not sure. Yeah, so I don't really have any answers to this. It's just a blacksmith, I think. But you know what? It looks pretty cool. I'll give the benefit of the doubt there. And, well, that's that. That's second place. Well done to Ciroc, as voted by the community. And we will now move on to the first place finisher. Here it is. Doihung's first place. Hello, Angel, and welcome to the city of Nath. As a diplomat sent from Orbis, you have been granted usage of teleportation runes. Feel free to explore the city however you like. Click the relics at the revealed locations to teleport around. So, I'm going to explore this one through the eyes of the Angel, because this is the first place finisher, and we'll go through in detail and look at this map and explore. This was actually my favorite map as well, and the creativity here is, well, it's out of this world, quite literally. Right, so we start up here in this north area. I was kind of waiting for this to clear. There it is, which is some kind of huge building temple thing. I'm not sure entirely, but as we explore, we come down from Orbis, and we go toward the city of Nath. Let's see what Nath has in store for us. We can click on people and hear their story. Welcome, just minding my business here as usual. Have an enjoyable evening in Nath. And so while these scenarios don't have to be playable, it is worth noting that these sort of dialogues, in my opinion, they don't make it playable. They just add some story, and this is all about storytelling, and that's exactly what Doi Hung has done here. So as we explore down, we come up towards the city of Nath itself, and it's where things start to get quite crazy. Pathfinding is super hard to manage because there's so much going on here. But let's click on the teleportation rune and head into the city itself. So lots of movement, lots of action, but this is so well done. Let's have a look. Jade, the college student. Those fellas at the chemistry room are at it again. It's always up to me to clean up their mess, as the university is sort of on fire here. You can just imagine they've had a bad experiment up there. Nath land expansion has been driving the region's wildlife away, so this is now a land of penguins. But hey, at least oils and feathers come cheap. Yeah, you may notice a few penguins around the place. I think there was some up here somewhere, which we can't see now. But yeah, this is super well designed, this town. You've got this like hedgerow here coming down, and I believe he's used bridges here or something. I don't even know how he's done this, to be honest. And there's a few things in here that you will see which I just have no idea how he's done. As far as I'm concerned, it's witchcraft. But yeah, you've got the guys practicing on the targets here and the archery range as we come down through toward the main town. Let's have a look what we've got. We can talk to everyone as well. Sorry, stranger, ain't got time for a chit-chat. We've got loads to deliver. Yeah, everyone has dialogue. You can talk to the... well, okay, not everyone, but lots of them. Best fish you can get. Come get it while it's squirming. No problem. I'll come get some squirming fish off of you. But... yeah, look at this. Oh yeah. We got to check this out down here. This is really cool. You've got these patrols going on. You've got like master and apprentice here. Is that it? Show me what you've got, adventurer. Your attacks are strong, but you lack dexterity. Prepare yourself, as I'm going to strike you when you least expect it. Or where you least expect it. I can't read, apparently. Yeah, lots and lots happening out here. The city of Nath is buzzing. And let's come down into the main square. Now, this here is freaking awesome. Look at this. Look at this. Check this out. Yes, we're running straight under there. Oh, look at it. It's so cool. Like, I don't know how he's done this, but that's like the wing of a town center. The rest of the town center is nowhere to be seen. Instead, there's this circus tent, and there are a circus troupe down here, or is a circus troupe down here that we can talk to. Debbie the elephant. And the elephant trainer. Now, Debbie, our performance is next. Stop waddling around and licking random strangers. I hope it didn't lick me when I walked past. Yeah, talking about that horse. There's so much story here, so much to explore. You've got this circus troupe, which are sort of just getting ready to perform. You've got this invention and the inventor. This contraption could make a great show. However, I need a great acrobat. Hey, you angel, do you have some trick in your sleeves? Yeah, like you could imagine the trebuchet being used as sort of like some kind of acrobatics apparatus. But yeah, look at, I love how he's done this. I don't know how he's done it. He's like disappeared in the middle of the town center. And what's this? Woman. Remember, young ladies, keep an eye out on your husband. You don't want him to turn out like this. Like what? Are you saying I'm a bad husband? Oh, look, there's some penguins down here. Oh, this was one of my favorite things as well. Look at this bridge. This is so cool. I love how he's done this. I don't know how he's done this, but I like the way he's done this. Oh, and this is really cool. It's like a dialogue between this Step Lancer. So you're that new OP unit, huh? Let me tell you a story. To the Kipjack, who says the one who attacked through a wall, trained from stables, has increased attack speed and movement speed, and who can even chase cavalry units all the way to their base. Yes, the discussion to last an age. These guys, though, well, yeah, they've both been nerfed, actually, in the most recent patch. So, Doihung's just going to have to take part in the next competition to continue this saga. But as we explore up here, you've got this little, like, sort of graveyard, this really mysterious temple here. And I love how even when you're looking at, 30 different scenarios, you still see different uses for some of the same buildings in all these different maps. It's really cool. Out here to the right hand side, there's not a lot else, I think, to explore this way. We will just follow it up, but yeah, I don't think there's too much else out here, just sort of like some barren forest area. There's a little house. But let's go back down, because I know that the dock is a really cool place to explore. Battering ram for sale, the #1 effective weapon in any situation, be it your noisy neighbour's field or his entire house. Sign me up. Although I don't have any noisy neighbours, it's good to be prepared for any situation. Coming down then toward the shoreline here, we've got quite a lot of stuff happening all over the place, and lots of stories to be told. I'm not going to click on everything. I want to save some for you guys to explore as well. But we're going to come up from the dock and out over towards the left side here, because I want to show you, well, this isn't really the dock. I guess this is the beach, right? I want to show you guys the actual dock. Pathfinding, please. If pathfinding permits, we will go check it out. Apparently, we can go through here. Hey, that's cool. I didn't know that. A little shortcut through there. And now check this out. Look at this. Oh, so much going on. So much creativity with these buildings. That's just awesome. Just makes me want to climb in and clamber through all these buildings, find out what's happening there. But as we come down onto the dock itself, I love this. This pier is fantastic. You've got the demo ship on the wheels here. You've got a labourer talking to a merchant. If you complete this special delivery, little hands, I'll tell you the next treasure location, as they go off to explore the world and look for some unknown treasure. Heading out through the dock then, we've got a little bit more over here as well. And you can head up to, oh, seems like we're trapped. You get trapped a lot if you're not paying attention. Come on, let me through here. Nope. Okay, I can't seem to get through there. What I'll do is I will use the relic to transport myself over to this area here. There we go. And oh, what's this? A Cobra Car? What kind of mechanical entity is this? It looks elegant on the outside, yet inside sophisticatedly built. Hello, this is Phillips. Great day on the farm, isn't it? Don't tell anyone that I have a pet alligator hidden from view. Do you? Okay, well now it's going to be playing Where's Pet Alligator, or Where's Waldo. You can open the gates just by clicking on them, and I guess we're going to look for that alligator. I don't know where it might be. Hidden away somewhere. Can you find the alligator? I'm terrible at these games. I was playing Find the Unicorn with my cousin the other day. She's only 8 years old, bless her. And she was finding all the unicorns, and I couldn't see any of them. It was useless. Yeah, I don't know. There's an alligator somewhere. Tell me if you find it. And yeah, this is really cool. So, Nath. I'm going to Marco Polo this now, because there's probably a few bits that we've missed. All in all, though, it is just superb. Look at this. I mean, it's just incredible. He's done things that I didn't know were possible. He's done things that I have no idea even how he's done them. And Doihung has really raised the bar. Now, of course, this is not some kind of playable scenario, and I don't think it ever would be possible to make a playable scenario out of this, but that was never the goal. The goal was to make something creative and pretty, and you know what he's created here is truly remarkable. I am again quite speechless at some of this stuff. Huge credits to Doi Hung. Huge credits to all of the other contenders in the map design competition. You've all done a fantastic job, and I cannot wait to see more of your creations in the future. Let me know in a comment below if you'd like me to focus more on some of the scenarios in the future, if you'd like me to make the video longer and show more, if you'd like me to make it sort of more snappy. I'd love to hear some feedback on that. Also, if you disagree with any of the rankings, if you think that, hey, number 6 was really good, that should have been ranked number 1, then you should join my Discord server, because all of the voting is public. You are able to vote on the maps when they are submitted. And the next round will start in January. I will be making a video in January to give you the rules and the settings and let you know what the theme is for the next competition. If you'd like to get involved, but you're worried that, hey, I can't make something like this, this is crazy, don't worry. There's a lot of people in the Discord who would happily help you out and give you some tips and advice as well. I've really enjoyed this so far. I've really enjoyed looking at all of your creations. And like I said, I cannot wait to see more. So congratulations once again to Doi Hung, and well done to everybody for taking part. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this showcase, and I will see you guys next time.